close. Okay. It was 8:30 a.m. in the morning. I was sleeping as I put my feet toward the left side and my hand moved in the most unconscious way. I hit something bony, and a loud, crying voice came from beside me. I opened my eyes and I almost shrieked. It was my 5-month-old nephew who was sleeping beside me. And I then realized that it was my first day as a babysitter, and I have started my day by slapping him in my sleep. What a great way to start with a new job description. I picked him up and started shaking him so that he must just calm down, but no good. I then changed the strategy. I raised him up to my shoulder and tugged him and started patting him. But no pardon from the prince. Then I improvised and started singing a lullaby. Thankfully, presidential pardon was granted. Just then there was time for my mother's breakfast, so I had to rush to the kitchen and prepare the breakfast. When I was stirring the egg and pouring it in the frying pan, I again heard a loud crying voice. I rushed to my nephew. I picked him up, tucked him to the shoulder, and again started singing lullaby. But this tactic didn't work. He might be hungry. So I prepared the feeder and into his mouth. But didn't work. So then I went for an expert opinion. I went for my mother and asked her what could be the reason. And she said, check his diaper. And when I checked his diaper, there was the reason of his fever. Now I had to wash. Look, I know people at Beach Luxury Hotel might having their biscuits and tea, so I won't go into the description of the experience. But when I liberated him from his diaper stage, he saluted me with the fountain of something you know what. I took him to the washroom and watched it. And just then, questions started popping in my mind. What am I doing? Where am I? Was this the reason I came to this planet? When I was done with my introspection and cleaning, came back to Earth, I then realized there was a soul burning on the frying pan of the kitchen of the chicken. I rushed to the kitchen and there was burned. So it meant I had to redo it all again. Then I prepared the breakfast and then I went into my mother's room. And just as I entered the room, there was again a loud crying voice. And now I was going through the checklist. Okay, I had not slapped him this time. He has not excreted. Yes, he can be hungry. So I again took the waiter and into the mouth. And thankfully, after which he slept. My mother, who was on the other side of the room but was looking at all of this, started laughing at me. And so did I join her. And our laughter filled the room. Then our laughter turned into a silence. And then that silence turned into sorrow. Because it was my turn to do her chores now. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, we have been fed lies that we must be independent. But the question is, independent of what? Independent of people around us? No matter how fulfilled you feel right now in your adulthood, where you feel your strength, you have money, you have everything. But eventually, you are going to get dependent on someone. If not by wealth, then for your health. You can either be a narcissistic, a self-deluded person into himself and face the nature's consequences, or embrace the reality and learn to grow together and move ahead. Toastmaster of the day.